Hello, Kevin here, and Cynthia's with me again.
Hello.
And we are now at our third destination
For today, yes.
for today in Duncton, and we are, as you can probably already see, the parish church of the Holy Trinity of Duncton. And the church is hiding behind this sign. There it is. First impression, stone built under a tiled roof with a tile hung steeple. So let's go and have a wander around the outside and have a look at that, and then we can have a look at the inside, hopefully. Let's see what we can find. So we're on the east end of the church, and it looks as though there's a lovely stained glass window there, and we've got these buttresses all the way around this church, and we are slightly up on a slight hill. And I was wondering what that noise was, and I've just realised it's the cord banging on the metal post. Cynthia's standing here looking rather interesting. Sorry?
There she is, a suffragette.
Can you read that?
I'll read from her name.
Yep.
Florence Gertrude Fontainebleau, originator and leader of the Women's Suffragette March from Edinburgh to London, 1912. She was born in 1864, died in 1949.
Wow. So the lady that started all the suffragette movement?
Well, she started that particular march.
That particular march?
Yeah. So quite famous.
Yes, indeed. And we've got this, what looks like a...
She's blown down, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, lest we forget, it's a suffragette sort of, like we get with the soldiers. And that's her name on there as well, look. Yeah. Wow, what a fantastic find. I'll leave you there. Hang on a second, let me see what I can do. We've got quite a mixture of different headstones. We've got wooden ones, but mainly stone headstones. But I'm just coming down here a little bit further because I wanted to get away from the church, because I was really close up to it, and I wouldn't have been able to have really given you the benefit of the church. Now the tower is actually on the south side of the church, the southeast corner of the church. Where Cynthia is, that's the east end, so this is the southeast part of the church. So it's a square tower. I've got very little information about this. It's, as I mentioned as a start, it's under a tile hung steeple, Norman square tower, stone built, and we've got the stone surrounds around the windows and around the louvered bits on the church, on the tower. So I'm right up against the fence or the hedge of the churchyard now, just here. And so I can, as I say, bring you the full extent of the church. I've moved away from it. We've got the grotesques around the door frame and around the arches above the door. There's more buttresses on this south side. A holly tree here, which has been lovely, shaped rather lovely. And just look at this headstone here. And as I walk further round the south side, heading up towards the west end, we've got a wooden door, again with grotesques on the surrounds. Rather lovely cross above the pitch of the roof. So I'm right on the west end of the church now. Another big buttress just here. Looks like a lovely stained glass window on this west end. Again, all stone. Stone buttresses, more and more. They're all away. There is a large number of buttresses on this church. So I've now made my way round to the north side of the church. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 buttresses on the north side, which is rather interesting because the slope of the ground is north to south. It's all very much the same as you walk round. They've got the gully around the bottom of the walls, which is of stone on this one. Most of the ones we see are brick gullies for picking up the rainwater, but these look as if they're all stone, which they are. So hopefully we can get inside the church. We'll have to have a look to see what we can do. But the entrance to the church is the south porch, just where Cynthia is now. The Church of England parish church of the Holy Trinity is part of the Benefice of Stopham and Fittleworth. Just in front of me we've got this nave arch, which is rather a large arch, and to the left is the pulpit. The original church of St Mary was a medieval building at the foot of Duncton Down, some distance south of the village. And you've almost got like a little separate, well, you can't call it a lady chapel, but just a little separate altar there. In 1864, a gentleman called George Wyndham, first Baron Leconfield of Petworth House, commissioned a new parish church to be built on a more convenient site in the village. Just to my right, we've got the organ pipes and the organ by another arch of stone on the south side of the church. But look at these lovely tiles on the floor. Isn't that lovely? And then we've got a different pattern here in the front of the chancel. The altar is made of wood. And it's got wooden candlesticks. But I'm right by the east window now. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. The church is a Gothic Revival building, and it was designed by a gentleman called James Castle of Oxford, and it was completed in 1866. A bell of St Mary's, thought to have been cast, I believe, in Normandy in 1369, was transferred to St Mary's from St Mary's to the Holy Trinity. But as I said just now, mentioned on another church, that the very plain rendered walls, there's very little painting been done in here on the walls. It just looks fairly plain to me from this angle, although it might have had a coat of something. The Roman Catholic Church of St Anthony and St George is another Gothic Revival building and was designed by Gilbert Blount and completed in 1868. There's very little plaques adorning the walls, we've got that one. The electric lighting and heating in this church was installed, an act of thanksgiving and deliverance, and it's in grateful and loving memory of the following parishioners. So that gives you the names of the parishioners. And then there's just one other one, a brass one, on the north wall. Duncton and Upwortham, Burton and Barlavington, to the glory of God and in the honour of those of the above parishioners who served in a great war, AD 1914 and AD 1919, and his sacred memory of John Baker, Arthur Bartlett, William Fuller, Harry Knight, George Green, Solo Snow, that's an unusual name, who gave their lives for their country. With a great and sacrifice won we this victory. Isn't that lovely? Of course, 1919, some of them say 1914 to 1918, but that's where the war finished. But in 1919, they were still bringing the wounded and the dead back from the front lines. And that's why sometimes you see 1919 on these plaques. But another stained glass window on the west wall. But have a look at these timbers up in the roof. Cynthia and I thought they were this sort of shape of an upturned boat. Now, this one in the nave is not like that, but this one in the chancel, the lower timbers are definitely in the shape of an upturned boat, and they are looking like substantially bigger timbers as well. So it is interesting when you go into these churches. You see some churches have got lots and lots of plaques on them, adorning the walls, but this one, there's actually only 2 plaques fitted. At the far end here we've got this font, which I've actually got no information about at all, but I will find out about it. And then you've got the baptisms on the wall there, Diocese of Chichester, parish of Duncton. And that's, I've got to put my glasses on to try and read that. And that's from, let's see, some of them fairly early actually. 1958 in January. So this is a fairly new one by the looks of it, because the dates don't go back very far at all. 1946 is the earliest, in December. And then we've got information books and things like that. And it says there's one there, the repair of Duncton Church in 1991. And then there's the incumbents of St Mary's of Duncton. And that is dating from 1543, John Ogden, till the present day, 2020, David Robert Crook. And then we've got some information about the suffragette there, which we'll look into that a bit more, so we can bring you some different information or more information about that. So fairly plain church, but rather nice. The stained glass windows are lovely, I must admit. Well, Cynthia and I have finished going round Holy Trinity of Duncton.
Yes.
That's right. But let me just show you this. When we went in, it was nice and dry. And now look at this. It is pouring with rain. The hills in the distance, which are the South Downs, have disappeared. And we've got to walk to the car. So that's not going to be good. But we are now going to head off. And as I said in the thing just now, it's very plain inside, but not bad. Not bad.
Nice. It's a nice
anyway, we've finished filming for today. So it's time to head off, get a coffee, get dry, yeah, because we are going to get wet, heading back to the car. Yeah. So anyway, this will be Kevin and Cynthia saying bye-bye, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.
If you've enjoyed this video on Kevin's Rambles YouTube channel, why not give him a subscribe and a like and comment on his videos? It'd be very much appreciated.